Welcome back, everybody. I feel rested and ready to get going with this week's update at Walt Disney World. We begin at the Magic Kingdom. This here is a sign you see at the monorail drop-off spot, which notes that the monorail will stop operating 1 hour after the Magic Kingdom, or Epcot for that matter, closes. These signs have become a little bit more aggressive in recent weeks. Originally the signs weren't all that prevalent, and now you'll see them in several places. I think people are getting the message that a lot of the day guests didn't know that that was there. A little bit of construction in one of the tunnels going into the Magic Kingdom, and just inside that same tunnel, the stroller rental sign is old, but this sign, the finder sign for buses, ferry boats, and monorail, is slightly newer inside the tunnel, and then outside the tunnel is yet another one of those. And that's maybe hard to see from here, but if we were to pan out a little bit more, you'd see that this sign kind of destroys the subtle line and design element that was there before. It looks a little bit like a stamp, in fact, tossed on top of everything else. Let's get going on the train. This is the Fantasyland expansion. We're looking here at the Storybook Circus area, probably the building for the train station. This is a look through the fence at the former Goofy's Barnstormer building. As you see, it's been stripped down to some of its basic wooden pillars. None of the show elements remain there. I'll look slightly backwards now through that same fence. The Toontown Fair shopping tent is still present. Not much else is around, however, in terms of structures. And then back again at the building which will be right next to the train and presumably the train station. And there's one more view of it. You can see a little bit inside, but there's only an interior wall to note and not much else to look at just yet. At one point I was stopped on Small World, and that offered me the opportunity to take some pictures of the area with the telephoto lens, since we weren't moving very fast, and you know, that's doesn't come around all that often, so I thought I would avail myself of it. It's still a very pretty ride to take pictures of. Until you get to the Polynesian room, that is, when the work lights are on, you'll see that the background wall is not well painted. It's starting to fade. Normally that's not an issue, though, because the lights are on and you can't tell. Different part of Fantasyland now. We are looking over by the bathrooms at Village House, Pinocchio Village House, and then a shot kind of over the Dumbo area toward the entrance of Under the Sea ride, Belle's Castle, and they're adding some new elements here. These elements that are covered up might be torches or lampposts or something. Those weren't there previously. Also in the Belle's Beast's Castle area, and another shot of Under the Sea. A sign has been unveiled over at the Tiki Room. Not long gone, but recently gone are Iago and the other parrots, Zazu, who were here at the entrance sign. And you see from a slightly different angle, they've also changed the sign up at the top to say Enchanted Tiki Room. It's a real thrill to see that come back. In Adventureland, the Fairies have moved over from their Epcot home back here to the former home of Adventureland Verandah. The wait time wasn't too bad. It's 20 minutes and it's indoors, and you can see a little bit of the theming around the outside. The inside's more heavily themed, but I didn't wait in the line this time. I'll save that for a report for next time. Just around the corner from there, this was once the former, right here, temporary bridge to Adventureland. Well, they fixed the real one, and they've since boarded it back up, and you really can't tell there was ever a temporary bridge there. That's very well done. Quick hop over to Epcot, where you see the Kabuki Café, not well photographed at night, but with the flash you can see a little bit more of the themed elements up at the top. This replaces the Kaki-Gori stand that was here before. In fact, it still sells Kaki-Gori, as you can see, $3.50. Price didn't really go up much, although the price for the beer did go up a little bit, $7.50 to $8.50 for the Kirin beer. And you can see here the inside has considerably expanded. They've got at least twice the amount of space, maybe 3 times as much space behind the counter. And they're really pushing, you know, the edamame, the small snacks, and then the drinks, of course, and then the Kaki-Gori, the shaved ice stuff up at the top. That brings us to the end of another week. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week, and we'll talk to you then.